I am wanting to share with you some things about period 9. So many of you know that I have my big workshop coming up on Monday, and I put together a package that basically will take you through 2023 with me, some of the key pivotal parts of what I do. So I wanted to talk a little bit about period 9 and what it is and why it matters. So those of you who have followed me or who have been paying attention or taken classes from me know that every 20 years, we go through a shift in energy. So right now we're in what's called period 8. And period 8 is the earth element. And the earth element, if you think about it, think of a mountain. It doesn't move, or it moves very, very slowly. Think of the sand on the beach. You can dig a hole and the ocean comes and fills it right back in. So the period 8 for the last 20 years, which was from 2004 to 2023. So think about how old you were in 2004. I wasn't that old. So 20 years ago, I was 33. So I lived through a big chunk of my working life in period 8. And period 8 is all about slow moving, building companies. It's all about education and learning how to do more, be more for the company you work for. It also is about real estate. So a lot of people found that real estate investing was a key to generating their wealth. Then we have period 8 is a time of just bickering and tension. Not any huge wars were started in period 8. Now there's been conflicts, there's been tension, there's been a lot of arguing in period 8, but we haven't seen the full out wars. The last time we had a period 9 was 180 years ago, and it was the start of the Civil War towards the end of period 9. What do we have coming in period 9, and why does it matter? Think about how old you are right now and how old you'll be in 20 years. Most of us only live through 2 large 20-year cycles, so 40 years that are relevant to our working and earning lives. So see where you are in that timeline. Maybe you're just early in your 20s, and when period 9 is over, you'll be in your 40s, maybe in your 30s. So you'll be in your 50s, like I was, period 8 to period 9. Maybe you're in your 50s and you're going to be in your 70s. So this is the time you'll be looking at retirement. Wouldn't it be nice to know exactly what to expect so that you can make the right decisions to take advantage of the energy that's going to be influencing us all? So if you were back 20 years ago and finding out that period 8 is all about young men creating tech, which is what period 8 was about. Think of Elon Musk, think of Steve Jobs, think of Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, all of them, Mark Zuckerberg, all of them were very young men in this period 8 timeline, 2004 to 2023. All were very young men 20 years ago. So what if they had knocked on your door and you knew this information and they presented you with the idea of Facebook, or they presented you with the idea of investing in Apple Computer? Do you think you would have maybe made a decision to do that? Because you knew what period 8 was all about, young men creating tech. Well, what I can tell you about period 9 is technology isn't going anywhere, but it's no longer young men that are going to be the influencers in this next 20-year cycle. It's actually going to be women. In fact, it's that middle-aged female who's in the workforce now, right now, and will be working for the majority of this period 9, this 20 years. So the women in the world are the ones that are going to have the most influence in period 9. That doesn't mean the men are going anywhere. They have a different role to play. It's just not young men creating tech. Period 9 is a fire element. So if you think about fire, what does fire do? Fire burns up. It burns up and it burns out. So that signals some things that we can be looking at coming into prominence in the next 20 years. We've already seen some of it happening. So you can start to see the trends of what I'm talking about. So some potential industries that we will see coming to the forefront would be facial or eye recognition. Period 9 is all about the eyes. In fact, eye technology is likely going to take some tremendous strides forward in period 9, including the ability to project. It's almost futuristic or science fiction, being able to project images so the eyes can see them in 3D or even 4D. So image projecting directly into the eye. We're also going to see improvements in eye technology as far as implants, LASIK, eye correction, maybe even towards the bionic eye. Now, I grew up a child of the 70s. I watched The Bionic Woman and the Bionic or the $6 Million Man. I loved that bionic eye. I would rather have that than the bionic hearing. But bionic eye is indeed a potential development in this period 9 coming up. It's likely to result in strides forward with night vision and with sharper vision and even blindness breakthroughs. So period 9 is all about eyes, eye technology. It's also got a lot to do with the food industries. Now, one of the things going on in 2022 right now, as we're going through this big shift, is there is the possibility of food shortages. Not only are we seeing the supply chain issues out there, there is genuine concern of food shortages. And with this economic situation that's looming, which we can see, and if you were at my summit in December, we talked about the potential for a huge economic reset. And I just sent out a newsletter a few minutes ago stating that this economic reset could be the mother of all economic resets, and it's likely to be triggered in the next few weeks. August looks like it's a pretty pivotal month for our world. And if you're paying attention at all to the news, you'll notice that there are some leaders that are resigning from their posts, mainly the Italian and the UK prime ministers have stepped aside, but there's also other elections that are taking place around the world. And there's an issue with leadership right now globally. So now the other thing I wanted to mention to you is the rise of virtual and augmented reality. So VR and AR, also artificial intelligence, and anything that is using the internet. So if you're in a company or a job profile or a job role that uses the internet, data cloud storage, cybersecurity, payment gateways, anything like that, these are industries that are definitely going to see growth, change, and expansion in the next 20 years. We're also going to see drones expanding in uses, electric vehicles. Metaverse is a total period 9 creation. Connectivity and coverage of internet is going to be expanding. Yay. Obviously, with all of the work that Elon Musk has been doing on that, that's a no-brainer. Virtual offices, virtual stages. So Zoom's not going anywhere, guys. Virtual offices aren't going anywhere. Robotics, holograms, space travel. So if you think of fire, how it goes up, this is the same motion that a rocket would make. So space exploration and space travel are likely to be prominent figures in period 9 in these next 20 years as well. Other things, let's talk about the beauty industry. This is very well poised for period 9. It's going to go through a boom. Anything that is good or easy on the eyes. Remember I said eye technology? Well, anything that's easy on the eyes. So this is cosmetics, anything that's aesthetic, plastic surgery, skin care, implants, top implants and bottom implants. So there's also likely to be a boon in medical tourism. So anything to do with well-being, anything to do with hearing, eyes and hair, breasts, organs, all of these are period 9 compliant industries that we are likely to see increasing on the upswing as we go through these next 20 years. Another thing that you need to be aware of is flexibility in the workforce. So if you own a job, if you own a company, You've likely seen that your employees, if you have them, and even you specifically, want flexibility in your workday. Gone are the days of 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 8 to 4:30. Your employees and even you are going to want flexible work schedules. Maybe you start work at 7 a.m. and you work till noon, take a couple hours off, and then finish up your day at 6 p.m. Maybe you work some on weekends. Maybe you put in 12-hour days so you can have half of Thursday and Friday off and take long weekends. This flexibility is going to be highly prized by employees and even by people if you are a self-employed person. So people want freedom and excitement. They want that work-life harmony. So not like period 8 where you put your nose to the grindstone and you just worked the job slow and steady at a pace and climbed the corporate ladder as you naturally would. That's all changing in period 9. That's changing. So look at how you can adapt and be flexible in your business to attract the top-notch employees that are out there. Let's talk a little bit about food. We do see food becoming more genetically modified, synthetic meat becoming an even bigger thing. I don't know about you, but I've seen it more and more in the regular chain grocery stores, but that's going to become a big thing. There's going to be vertical farming. Remember, I said the fire is movement upwards. Earth was flat. So that's the typical farming that we see, large acres of land. I've already seen some of this in development when we were down in Austin, Texas. Some of the scientific developments of growing food vertically on big conveyors that grow the food in layers. And then it's harvested that way. That technology is coming and will become more common. So it's AI related again. Then we're also going to see that let's see what else. Genetically modified and synthetically produced food is another thing. Other things that we're going to see is the childcare industry. So women, remember I said the rise of women. When women are in powerful positions and they've gained the recognition and the leadership skills and leadership platforms, they are going to need good childcare, and they're going to demand good childcare and daycare centers. Maternity services are going to be changing. They have been slowly changing over the past 5 to 7 years. Maternity food and beverage. Women who have just given birth are not going to be wanting cooking. So they need different nutrition, better nutrition, perhaps. So maternity food and beverage is going to become a thing. Child enrichment programs are going to skyrocket, and childcare products are going to skyrocket. When we look at the education industry, this virtual environment that we found ourselves immersed in these past couple of years because of COVID, that's not going to go away. Schools, even public schools who embrace that and become really good at it, will be able to offer their curriculum across school district boundaries. EduTech is not going away. Online courses aren't going away. Online workshops are not going away. Virtual education institutes will start to prop up. You'll see more freelance teachers, more freelance trainers, freelance speakers and presenters. Thought leaders will become more prominent because they have a level playing field, because they can access all of the social media platforms that are out there. The fire element of period 9 also relates to the heart, the cardiology piece in the medical industry. But perhaps the most significant part of health in period 9 is mental health. So period 8 saw the rise of allergies, of skin issues, and digestive issues. Those were some of the main things that were coming out. Most of us can think right now, when I was young, allergies really weren't a thing. Yes, you had those that had peanut allergies, maybe a random shellfish allergy here or there. Now it's everywhere. I've got one myself that I have to deal with. My sister has one, and we never grew up with people that had allergies, and now we've got them. That's period 8. Period 9 is mental health, dementia, Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety. These are going to be on the rise, and individuals, you right now, may not have any symptoms or have any family history of it. Period 9 may start to bring that out. So it's more important than ever that we learn how to control and work with our inner world to keep ourselves on an even keel, to avoid becoming a victim of depression, and then releasing and removing the stigma of getting help when that depression or that anxiety gets to the point where we just cannot cope. So that is something that's going to be happening in period 9. I want you to be paying attention to that in your family and in yourself as we go through these next 20 years. In the law, in the legal world, family law and divorce attorneys, that's the type of law that is going to be seeing an increase simply because women are becoming empowered. They will no longer put up with relationships that do not serve them or treat them as an equal. They may become a little bit more bucky in their relationship and not so willing to compromise or settle. So men will have to adjust as well to the new empowered female. But what this means is that there's likely to be a woman, many women who marry and divorce and then remarry again and re-divorce. So these attorneys will be ones that are likely to see an uptick in business if we look at the law industry. Let's talk about finance, banking and finance. So there's all this hubbub about digital currency, cryptocurrency, that type of thing. Is it going away? Is it something that's just a one and done? The answer is no. Banking and finance, the world of crypto is here to stay. Now, crypto has decreased. It's a volatile market, just like the stock market. It's no longer can you invest and get a huge payday because it's becoming more mainstream. It's not going anywhere. Learn about it, take a class about it, study it, figure it out. So at least you know what it is, because as it becomes more prevalent, you won't be able to ignore it anymore. Period 9 is the rise of crypto. It is the rise of digital currency. So you might as well start now so that you know how it works and how it's going to impact you. There's also going to be more payment gateways. So when you're doing business online, all of those digital payment gateways and likely automated kiosks. So kiosks will be popping up for you to order things or get things, and they'll all be automated. The other thing we see coming in period 9 is the unconventional wisdom industry. This is about spiritual and self-improvement, spiritual development and self-improvement development. It's one of the beautiful things that's coming in period 9. People who never had a bent or a tilt towards spirituality will suddenly be open to it and want to learn about their own connection to divine source. So this will birth more interest in metaphysics, like what I do, more interest in astrology, spiritual learning, NLP, motivational type learning, even religious studies, and we'll see the rise in retreats for self-improvement and spiritual development. So these are the obvious industries where you're going to face a certain amount of prosperity that will see growth in the next 20 years. If you are not in any of them or they don't fit you, can you make adjustments to your job role? So are your skills portable? If you're in sales, if you're a realtor, let's be watching the market. Let's just say that as we close out 2022 and into 2023. And when we move to 2024, remember, real estate was period 8, not so much in period 9. Can you use those sales skills to go into something new? Flexibility, remember? Flexibility in using the skills you have to move into a career or an area of business that fits period 9. Now, guys, I shared quite a bit of what's happening in period 9 coming up as far as the industry trends. So we talked about the rise of women, we talked about beauty, we talked about eyes, we talked about legal, we talked about finance. It's the old rules of period 8 shifting to the new world and the new rules of period 9. That's what's happening right now. It is a transformation in energy, and you are enjoying it, I hope. I would love for you, if you found this interesting, I have oh so much more to share that's much more personalized using your personal life chart. More to share on how you can get yourself set up for the next 20 years to embrace period 9 and get all that you can ready this next 6 months and next year. So we've got about 18 months before period 9 fully clicks in. You want to be at the beginning of it, because when we get into the middle, it'll be too late. I'd love to help you prepare for that. So if you found this talk interesting, I hope you'll join me Monday evening. We'll be going at 5:30 p.m. Central on the period 9 masterclass workshop. You will need your personal life chart, which I will send to you once you're registered. I will put a link in the comments below to make sure that you can get registered for that prior to the event. The cost for the workshop is in that, but I've got a special package. I think it's still there. The package will still be there, which I'm including. It's over a $1,200 value for just the price of the workshop. So this is a very big workshop. It's very detailed, specific to you, lots of things in there. It won't be overwhelming, I promise, and you'll get access to the recording as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the information that I shared with you tonight, and I'll see you really soon. And watch for the comments. Thank